When they say choose yourself, a lot of time they just mean put yourself first no matter what. And honestly, I think a lot of people already live that way. They don't need any advice for it. They go through life only thinking about themselves while secretly begging for others' approval. And if they have learned about self-love and things like that, suddenly every impulse becomes self-love. They justify every reaction as protecting my peace. And they call the emotional wall that they have put up a boundary. The thing is, all of that comes from fear, control, and avoidance. That's not really choosing yourself. To me, choosing yourself is choosing the real part of you, because not every part of you is the real you. There is this part, the ego, that constantly reacts out of anger, fear, and unworthiness. It constantly looks for validation. It wants to control everything and everyone. That's the part that wants to avoid pain at all costs. That's also the part that gets dissolved as you grow and heal. But there is this much quieter part that just is. You can call it the greater self if you want. This is the part that feels disconnected when you are pretending to be someone you are not. This is the part that gets exhausted performing, even if that performance gets you what you want. This is the part that quietly knows when you abandon yourself just to be accepted. And that's also the part that wants authenticity more than approval. And I think that's the part that we are all searching for. And when choosing yourself is based on that part of you, the real part of you, it looks very different. Sometimes it looks like not sending a text message in the middle of your fight with someone, not because you are afraid or you want to keep the peace at all costs, but because that real part of you knows that text is not going to bring peace and harmony into your relationship. Sometimes it looks like saying no, not because you want to control the situation, but because you feel like you are disappearing every time you say nothing or you say yes when you want to say no. It sometimes looks like resting instead of constantly doing to prove your worth. Sometimes it looks like admitting to yourself that wasn't the real me, without any shame, just with honesty. So I think a lot of healing is about learning to notice which part of you is talking before you follow. Because every decision you make feeds a different part of you. And after a while, the part that you feed the most takes over. And your choices kind of become by default. They are not really choices because there is not awareness there. So if you follow that fearful, reactive part of you, you end up constantly feeling lonely, defensive, restless, and disconnected from yourself. But if you choose the real part of you, life feels lighter because you stop carrying the weight of being someone that you are not that person. You feel less conflict inside you. There is less overthinking after every conversation, less lying awake at night, replaying all your decisions and wondering if you betrayed yourself to be accepted again. You stop performing all the time. You stop reshaping yourself and your life around others' opinions and judgments. And slowly you experience a feeling that is hard to describe, and it is very unique to you. Maybe it is like being yourself again. Maybe it feels like being grounded in yourself again. And then you respect yourself more. You love yourself more in the real meaning of that love. You feel more real, more vibrant, more confident, and less exhausted. Because the real part of you doesn't want to control, doesn't want to dominate, doesn't want to control its world every second, doesn't want to justify its existence by being useful. And I think the real part of you, I think, cares about others deeply, but doesn't build its whole being around others' approval. And maybe that's what choosing yourself really is.